All right. Well, hello, everyone, and thank you for attending the BedandBreakfast.com webinar on understanding the affluent traveler. I'm Peterson, and I'm a marketing specialist at BedandBreakfast.com in charge of member marketing. And what that means is that my whole job is centered around how to make your life as an innkeeper and as a member of BedandBreakfast.com easier. So giving you access to industry information like this webinar, tools, and making sure that our products are meeting your needs and easy for you to use. So begin by going over the details of the Google Insights report on the affluent traveler, demographics, etc. Then we'll review the top 10 survey insights that you as the innkeeper need to know. So this Google Insights report was actually quite extensive, and we've kind of done the legwork and narrowed it down to the top 10 key insights that B&B innkeepers should know from this report. And then we'll discuss tips and key takeaways to better market your inn to the affluent traveler. For the past 3 years, Google has published a report on traveler insights, and this year they did something where they actually segmented and analyzed out data specifically around the affluent traveler. And this report was published in January 2014. 1,500 travelers were surveyed, which they all had a household income of over $250,000 a year. 81% were between 35 and 64, 90% were college grads, 62% had no children, and 79% were married. About this report is that the target audience really aligns very well with our B&B traveler, which makes it even more valuable to you as an innkeeper. And to top it off, this is the traveler who has a little more money to spend and likely spend more nights and more money at your B&B. So they're a really great audience for you as an innkeeper to reach. So in this Google report was actually quite extensive, but what we've done is kind of picked out the top 10 key insights that innkeepers really need to know. The internet is the starting point for all travel research. Affluent travelers rely on digital travel for inspiration as well as research and booking. 50% of affluent travelers surveyed said that they generally begin researching online before they decide where or how to travel. So what do the travelers do online when researching travel? The online-related travel research activities ranged from researching an upcoming trip, reviews from other travelers, researching a destination, flight, hotel, or vacation spot, and brainstorming about a trip. Since they're beginning their research online, you can't rely on your website alone to reach them during this phase. Marketing your B&B on sites like BedandBreakfast.com and the online travel agents can really help you reach more travelers during their research phase, especially these affluent travelers. Number 2. Are their number one go-to source for travel ideas and information. So where travelers go when they go online for travel research, to their favorite search engine. Maybe it's Google, maybe it's Yahoo, maybe it's Bing. They might go straight to their browser and they think, shoot, I kind of want to go to Nashville, Hilton Head, or Charleston, and they'll type that in to the search bar and see where they end up. What each city has to offer, how much each city might cost, etc. This tells us is that you need to make sure that your B&B website and all of your advertising listings are ranking on search engines so travelers will have a greater likelihood of finding you early on, especially these affluent travelers. At BedandBreakfast.com, luckily we have a whole dedicated team of search engine optimization, or SEO, folks, specialized specifically in helping us rank the highest on search engines. So basically, we can better promote our member B&Bs. insight from this report is that there is a growing interest in the alternative lodging category. Affluent travelers still continue to prefer upscale hotels. Boutique and vacation rental interests have grown significantly in the past few years for personal and business travel. So this is just for personal travel, but business travel as well. You can see on this graph, luxury and economy hotel stays actually went down in 2013, while boutique and rental house stays increased. In addition, 40% of affluent travelers plan to research or use peer-to-peer sharing alternatives to traditional hotels when traveling for business next year. So what this tells us is that the affluent traveler is becoming increasingly interested in alternative lodging as a category and less interested in the mainstream hotel stays, whether that be luxury or economy. So you can see that both luxury and economy hotel stays went down. So it's not just about, the price. While B&Bs weren't an option in this study, you can see that with the growing interest in the alternative lodging as a category, people want to see something other than the major brand name hotel. Make sure you're maximizing your reach with where you advertise your B&B with sites like BedandBreakfast.com so that B&Bs and inns can continue to compete with the boutique hotel and rental industry. You don't want to miss the boat here. So is that the affluent traveler comparison shops. All travel, especially for hotels. And the percentage of affluent travelers who always or frequently comparison shop for hotels has increased 4% from 2012 to 2013. So affluent travelers are wealthy, they're still interested in finding the best value. Not necessarily just the best price, but they want to look around before they just book something. And online travel agent sites like Expedia help the traveler comparison shop all in one place, making the ability to book online on sites like these even more important for the affluent traveler. To promoting the value that B&Bs provide over hotels, such as free breakfast, Wi-Fi, and on-site parking. In the next few months, the BedandBreakfast.com team will actually be publishing an infographic that clearly illustrates the value that B&Bs provide over hotels. That will be a great resource for B&B innkeepers to help promote value of B&Bs over the big hotels. Number 5, the inn is as essential for inspiration as it is for planning. When affluent travelers are looking for inspiration, they're looking to be inspired on where or when to take their next trip. But the planning phase is when they've decided where they're going and they're ironing out all the details. So no surprise here, but the internet is the #1 source for travel inspiration as well as planning. And friends or colleagues is the second source for both planning and inspiration. As you can see here, traditional media such as magazine, papers, TV, and brochures have also our next line for travel inspiration and planning, but a lot less. 6. On travel agents such as Expedia, Travelocity, and Hotels.com are also an important planning and travel research tool for the affluent traveler. Between researching and booking, OTAs are frequently consulted by the affluent traveler. Considering a few destinations and knowing exactly where they're going, OTAs are a very important part in the online travel process. So as you see here, 50% of travelers visit OTAs when they're considering a few destinations, and 46% when they know exactly where they're going. So not only are they OTAs when they're ready to book, but also when they're still kind of doing some research around a few destinations of where they might want to go. To be out there on sites like these, so you're prominently reaching the affluent traveler in all phases of planning. To the second graph below, the top online sources used for planning are major brand.com hotel sites, search engines, travel review sites like BedandBreakfast.com, and online travel agents. Since you'll never be a part of the major hotel website like Hilton.com, so you have to take advantage of advertising on sites like BedandBreakfast.com and the online travel agents. Not only going to help you reach affluent travelers when they're on those sites, but on the search engines as well, because they'll help you rank. Is that the affluent traveler engages on multiple devices for online travel related activities. So as you can see, they're kind of all across the board using smartphone, tablets, and desktops for everything travel related. While this might not come as a huge surprise, you might be surprised to know the volume in which they're using smartphones and tablets. 5% of affluent travelers booked overnight accommodations on a smartphone. 77% researched an upcoming trip on an iPad, and 59% booked overnight accommodations on a desktop computer. So those are really huge, especially when you consider that 50% of travelers booked overnight accommodations online, and then 55% booked accommodations on a smartphone. So it's really not that much a percentage booking on a desktop over a smartphone. So reviewing the ways that travelers see your website and your advertising listings online, consider all the devices that they're probably using. BedandBreakfast.com just launched mobile responsive property pages, which I'll show you later in the presentation, so that your B&B listing is very user-friendly to travelers and easily bookable on any device. So whether you're on a smartphone, a tablet, or a desktop computer, your listing fits to the screen and is optimized for that experience. Is that travel videos influence and prompt action. So 93% of affluent travelers take some type of action after viewing an online travel video. This is a huge insight, as it really lends to, if you watch a video online, that could lead to a booking. 93% some sort of action. So while it seems like videos are typically an expensive cost up front, they really do prompt action and are something to be considered. And websites like BedandBreakfast.com and online travel agent partners do offer links to videos, which is a great asset. Love or hate them, travelers want to see reviews, especially the affluent traveler. 67% of affluent travelers surveyed said they read reviews online from other travelers. Reviews was the second highest travel-related activity online, just behind researching an upcoming trip. So a sneak peek, we at BedandBreakfast.com are actually revamping our reviews process for innkeepers, and soon you'll be able to upload a list of guests into Homebase and then send review requests directly to your guests via email. So this is a huge asset, since we know that traveler reviews are a really important thing for travelers to see, specifically affluent traveler. We want to help provide you with the tools you need to actively request additional reviews from travelers. It would be redesigning our review widget so that you can feature your BedandBreakfast.com reviews on your website. So there will be some neat new functionality to that as well. So that'll be coming later in the year. And the 10 insight is that there has become an increasing interest in loyalty programs across the travel category. So with airlines, hotel rewards, car rentals, on travel agents, and other loyalty programs. And OTA loyalty programs have grown significantly in the past 3 years, from about nothing to about 20% of affluent travelers being surveyed belong to an OTA loyalty program. So again, just another benefit to being a part of sites like those. So viewing these statistics, you're probably thinking, so what can I do to better reach these affluent travelers? You've told me a little bit more about them, but what are things that I can do today to really reach this affluent traveler group better? So the thing that we really saw is that affluent travelers are researching travel on many different devices. So they're over the map, they're using their iPad, they're on their iPhone, they're on desktop computers. So you make sure that you're giving them the best experience of your B&B, your website, advertising, listings, etc. So things like how many people are viewing your website from a mobile device? How easy is it for travelers to book a stay at your property on a mobile device? Your advertising listing look like on mobile devices? So, as I mentioned earlier, here is the BedandBreakfast.com mobile responsive property page. So, where a traveler comes and looks at your listing at BedandBreakfast.com, whether it be on an iPad or on a desktop computer, your listing actually fits to the screen that they're on. So the experience is optimized based on what they're using to search. And as you can see, certain things will change and move over, but the check dates button, if you're on our online reservations program, is prominent so that from any device, it's easier for them to book online. So obviously, it might be expensive to turn your B&B website into a mobile site. And we're not saying just run out and have a web developer turn your website to a mobile site, but just consider across all of your advertising, what are you doing and what are your listings looking like, and is it easy for a traveler to book a stay at your B&B online, or what is that experience like? Another key takeaway is that online travel agents are an important place for you to be. So the highest amount of affluent traveler participation on OTAs was number one when a property is when a traveler, is considering a few destinations, and number two when they know exactly where they're going. That doesn't just mean that they're going to book away, but just be mindful of the exposure commission costs, because they're looking at OTAs during research phase as well. And it's by Cornell, actually showed that for every reservation made on an OTA like Expedia, expect another 3 to 9 customers to book with you directly just from seeing your property listed on that OTA. So really it's about kind of getting out there and reaching the traveler while they're in their research phase. And according to some research done by Pi a few years ago, they said that only 4% of travelers have ever experienced a B&B. So travelers, when they're in their search process, will go to an OTA simply to find lodging, so overnight accommodations for their next vacation. While they might not necessarily be seeking out a B&B, they overnight accommodations, and you're in an B&B with a great alternative to the typical hotel stay. As we've seen in this Insights report, that hotels, alternative lodging is really growing in interest, so people are looking for things other than the major hotel chains. Staying on the OTAs can really help you get in front of the 96% of people who have never experienced a B&B before. And the thing is, with the BedandBreakfast.com online reservations, we make it easy for you to be on many OTA sites like Expedia, Hotels.com, Travelocity, but all managed through the same system. So we have access to that network. Another benefit about being on an OTA site, in addition to their huge network, is having access to their great mobile strategy. So the Expedia group, which contains Travelocity, Hotels.com, and Expedia, among others, they have 50 million apps downloaded to date, which is a huge number considering we know that the affluent traveler is using iPhones to search. 100 downloads of their apps per minute. In addition to that, they have 140 mobile websites in 7 countries and across 36 languages. So again, it's really about expanding your reach and reaching those travelers who wouldn't necessarily go straight to a B&B website, but are looking for alternative accommodations or just accommodations in general and might come across your B&B. The next is that is really key. optimization has become even more important, especially with the affluent traveler, as they rely heavily on search for travel inspiration and booking. So you can't just set it and forget it anymore. You can't just write your website content and leave it for 5 years. You really need to be constantly thinking about quality content on your website and across all of your advertising listings. So think about the content on your site and on your main directory, and think about your photos, the description of your property, the description of you as innkeepers, description of all your rooms, things like amenities, activities, and then details about your breakfast. And think about how it might differ or how you've updated it in the past 5 years. Make sure, most importantly, that you're providing different content across your website, your advertising listings, etc., so that you're not, because Google actually penalizes you for having duplicate content. So it's important to differentiate your content across your different mediums. Downplay the value of your B&B, promote it. Most travelers are used to paying for breakfast, Wi-Fi, parking, etc. at the major hotel chains. So it's really important as B&B owners and innkeepers that you promote the value of the B&B and why it's better to stay at a B&B over a hotel. And last but not least, it's also important to update your content based on seasonality. So as a traveler, if I'm looking for a summertime getaway, I wouldn't necessarily want to see a picture of a snow destination where there wouldn't be snow in the summer. So really thinking about what travelers are searching for at that time and predicting, all right, people are probably looking for summer in my area, so I'm going to post pictures of my inn in the summer and the beautiful lake. Things like that. Some videos are a huge part of content and making your B&B make a first great impression. So photos are the single most important element of your website and advertising listing. They help you make that first impression, and you kind of have to consider, will your first impression be a good one or a bad one? So here I have a couple pictures of some B&B photos. Just from looking at these photos, I think it's clear which B&B you'd likely want to stay at, just because the photo has better lighting, it's nice, the photo on the right, and then the two other photos on the left kind of have a little funky lighting, and the one on the left has a fisheye effect, which as a guy, you look to the right and say, oh, that's really nice. So just constantly be reminded that photos are a great and important way for travelers to know more about you before they get there. So you're maximizing the number of photos that are provided to you in your any advertising listings, particularly BedandBreakfast.com. Like I mentioned, making sure that they're seasonally appropriate, and emphasizing quality over quantity. So one bad photo can really prevent a traveler from booking. You know, if you have stellar photos of all aspects of your B&B and you maybe have one kind of strange bathroom photo, it might turn a traveler off and say, maybe actually I'm not going to book there. So just really be mindful of what you're putting out there. Professional photographer is totally worth it. They have the equipment and expertise to produce really high quality images that are going to help promote the full aspects of your B&B. In addition, at BedandBreakfast.com, we're always looking out for inns with great photos to feature in different public relations opportunities that come our way. So the better photos you have, the easier it is for us to help market you. So the way is really to not be afraid of traveler reviews. They're an important part of the traveler research process with all travelers, especially the affluent traveler. First and foremost, travelers really want to see reviews. A study done by Focusrite actually showed that people who read online reviews are 59% more likely to book. And a study done by Travelocity showed that visitors who interacted with reviews had a 103% higher booking conversion. So reviews are really an important part of the research process, but also an important part of the booking process. Consider is that review volume and frequency matters. So it's not just about having one or two really great 5-star reviews, but having many different reviews across, some might be 4-star, some might be 3-star, some might be 5-star, but really validating to the traveler that these are legitimate reviews and not just all 5-star ratings. It kind of gives some legitimacy to have a bunch of reviews. Maybe you have a couple that are really glowing and then you have a couple average, but then you have a bunch that are 4.5 stars. So really great still. Studies both Cornell and Expedia have been conducted and show that the volume of reviews also correlates to booking conversion. So really, you need to be actively soliciting reviews from your guests. And earlier in the presentation at BedandBreakfast.com, we are revamping our reviews process for our innkeepers, and soon you'll be able to upload a list of guest emails into your home base and send reviews directly to your guests via email through Homebase. And that's just going to be a great tool for you B&B innkeepers, as you're able to just upload a list and send an email letting travelers know that they should write a review, and it makes it easy for you, and it will help you actively solicit more reviews. And it's also important to have reviews on your website. So in addition to that reviews update, we're also redesigning our reviews widget so that you can feature your BedandBreakfast.com reviews on your website. So with that widget, you can kind of customize it based on your preferences. You can do things like only highlight certain reviews, or you can rotate reviews, things like that. So that is also going to be a great benefit for you as being a member of BedandBreakfast.com to really highlight the traveler reviews on our site on your own B&B website. At least consider the benefits of being part of our group of professionally inspected luxury inns, so the BedandBreakfast.com Diamond Collection. So there's a huge advantage here to reaching the affluent traveler and setting yourself apart by being part of the Diamond Collection. So by being part of the Diamond Collection, you associate yourself with a luxury group of inns. Travelers know that they've been professionally inspected, so they're going to associate them with luxury. And when the affluent traveler group is looking for a property, they're more likely to be looking for a property that might be distinguished as luxury, and luxury through the inspection process. In addition, our Diamond Collection inns are featured in more places on our site. They typically see up to double the exposure on our website. They're featured on various pages, but one significant one is on our home page. You'll see a screenshot here. And they have that rotating spot at the bottom of our homepage, so they're just constantly prominent on our website. But again, really, for the affluent traveler associated with the BedandBreakfast.com Diamond Collection is kind of setting you apart and saying that you are luxury, and that there's kind of the quality assurance that you know is going to be there with that B&B. This is where I will open it up to questions. There is a questions widget on your webinar window. So if you have any questions at this time, if you'll type them in, and then I'll look through them and answer them now, that would be great. So if everyone will take just a few minutes, if you'd like to answer a question, feel free to type it in here. If you don't feel comfortable asking your question now, you can definitely contact us and we can answer the question after the webinar as well. So right now, it's asking what amenities are affluent travelers looking for. That actually wasn't something that was indicated in this report. I'm happy to do some additional research and see if I can find that information somewhere and provide it to you. In the Google report, though, that wasn't a question that was specifically asked, but I can do some additional digging on that. And then another question came in asking what kind of extras should we aim to pop in the bedroom shot? So flowers, wine extras. I'm assuming that's related to photos. And I think it's really all about staging, which a professional photographer they're really experts in that. So maybe it's one of those things. So maybe it's flowers, or maybe it's a glass of champagne or something, which, like I said, professional photographer will really be the expert in that area. But I definitely think, it doesn't hurt to stage. I think it's just how it's done. My question is around the prerequisites for listing with the BedandBreakfast.com Diamond Collection. So prerequisites, I don't have all of them in front of me, but it is things like offering private bathrooms, offering free Wi-Fi, offering certain modern amenities to guests, and we can definitely get you a full list of those Diamond Collection prerequisites after the webinar. So around, are the affluent travelers looking for any other key features or experiences? Again, the Affluent Traveler Report really focused on how affluent travelers are searching for travel online and less on the actual experience when I get there, but I will do some additional read if I can find those things for our webinar attendees. And there's a question, is there a demographic about domestic versus international travelers being considered as affluent? And I don't believe that was indicated, but I will also do some additional research on that. All right. Well, with that, if you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to us. We thank you so much for attending our webinar today. And as you can see, BedandBreakfast.com offers a variety of products and services to fit your specific needs and help you better reach the affluent traveler. For more information about BedandBreakfast.com in general, the Diamond Collection, or our online reservations program, which allows you to be bookable on BedandBreakfast.com and online travel agent partners such as Expedia, Travelocity, and Hotels.com, please contact us at 1-800-GO-BandB. The number is on your screen, so feel free to reach out to us for any questions that you may come up with, or just any questions you have about membership or our additional products and services, and we'd be happy to help you. And then last but not least, for the full report, you can go to Google, thinkwithgoogle.com actually, and download the full report. But thanks for attending today. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to another webinar. And again, if you have questions, please let us know.